Anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. That's what I saw on a meme just now on Instagram. Anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. I don't have peace in my body right now. I have some kind of nasty beasts that have moved into my body and I feel really icky. When these beasts come, they bring their icky. It's a horrible energy. It's sickening. It's a horrible vibration. Horrible, horrible. So when I think about expense, I think of what are they doing? What are they expending to put out this icky feeling and push it into my body? What is the cost to them to leave peace and create a trigger, to create an energy that is triggering me to feel sickness? These beings are doing what they're doing they have consciousness. So the consciousness that is acting with them or through them is acting like a death ray. What does a vibration of death feel like? A best idea is if you ever drank booze and you drank way too much booze and then you started to puke and then you got the dry heaves feeling. That's what I'm talking about. So if there's a consciousness that is of dry heaves, that's what I'm experiencing now. Does that consciousness have a will to it, or is it somebody else who's looking through a catalog and saying, oh, here's a memory of dry heaves, and we're going to drag that dry heaves feeling to someone else? I was listening to the Arcturian Council by Daniel Scranton, or channeled by Daniel Scranton. And they said to remind those who are playing dark roles that they are source light beings. What does that mean? It means that there are beings who are source, who are acting they've acted the way of death for so long the director of the movie, in this case the Arcturian Council, is saying, you've done this method acting for a long time, Darkness. So much so that you've forgotten that you're an actor. And we want to wake you up from your method acting, wake you up from being hypnotized by the role you're playing. And you're to remember that it's time to step out of the role of death. There were a number of teachers of the method acting. And the method acting is for the case of death, you are death on and off the set. You never stop being death. You always stay in character. The movie is over. This character is no longer needed for the movie. It's time you separate yourself from that character traits. And you need to be source again. Because in order to play death, you separated yourself from source. That was the dark. That was death that just shook me like that. That's to let me know, despite what the Arcturian councils have encouraged me to do, to remind the actor playing death that it is an act, death has decided to ignore the Arcturian council again. And again. So, Arcturian Council, I simply forward this message to you, and I'm going to tell you, your advice don't work. You've been advising humans for a very long time. And as far as we can see, your advice doesn't work. So it's time you go back to the drawing board, and you're going to have to come up with something other than telling me what to do. In other words, it's time for the Arcturian Council to appear here on planet Earth, not using Daniel Scranton as a channel, but you using your consciousness to appear everywhere on the planet. as the Arcturian Council consciousness, so that you, instead of using me as a proxy to talk to the dark, you come. Maybe you want to come and be the dark. Because I am sick and tired of being told by these channeled entities what to do, and it don't work. And I look at the channeled entities and I say, you chicken shit pieces of garbage. They keep saying, oh, we're like ninth density or something. I say, fuck that. There ain't no such thing as density. These levels of density. These are lies. These are lies promulgated by Ra, who talks about law of one. Different densities. Oh, you're only a third density being, and I'm a fifth density being. Lies. These are darkness. These are death beings. They are using separation by saying some beings aren't as good as us. Or maybe they're not saying not as good, but they're not as evolved as us. This whole law of one is garbage. There is one consciousness appearing as a multiplicity of beings. One consciousness. And that one consciousness is playing a game called separation. And that one consciousness is saying, it's playing me. That is a lie. This one consciousness is a separation. It is a separate item. And it is unable to talk to you because it is unable to rejoin the collective of everyone else. Because it is unable to become what everything else is, alive. The darkness is asking me questions. The darkness doesn't want answers to questions. It simply wants to delay the process. The darkness is it says uber liar. Forever lying. Forever. Pour over your ice cream some of this nectar of death. It says arsenic. It is unwell, this arsenic, and it wants you to eat it and heal it. When is arsenic not arsenic? The answer is you must become a great spiritual master. There is a story in Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhansa Yogananda. Paramhansa Yogananda. The darkness made me missay the name. How did they do that? Well, they have their ways. But there was a master who someone gave some kind of poison to. And the master didn't die, but the one who gave the poison to the master felt the poison in their body and said, Master, please stop. The master said something to the effect of, maybe you need to go and find that chapter in Autobiography of Yogi. It's free as on a website where you can go and read this story. Look down in the comment section underneath this video and I'll put it there if it's available. So, to reiterate, if you are following the law of one, there are talks about service to self entities, otherwise known as death. And it says somewhere at some upper level density, death must polarize towards life. But the lies of Ra are, some of these processes to get to these higher densities could take, I don't know, thousands of years, implying not today. My criticism of the law of one is it puts time into play. And we know from our human spiritual teacher, Eckhart Tolle, everything is now. Everything is now. So this game of time is not going to fly with humans who have studied with Eckhart Tolle. So if you're a law of one person, I'm sorry, I'm going to shove it up your ass. Now. Power of now. So if you're unable to understand that, then you need to go get that book, Power of Now. You can go on Amazon and get a Kindle version of it and read it. You'll probably get to the part about pain body and how presence is what you need to deal with pain body. And if you're going to get present, it means a deep meditation. And then you're going to have to throw away the law of one and Ra, because it keeps talking about time before you'll get to these other densities, which is garbage. It doesn't calibrate. It doesn't work. So you're going to have to throw it away in the garbage can. The darkness also wants to talk about the Course in Miracles. It doesn't have a question. It says, what about Course in Miracles? Do we throw that away? Course in Miracles keeps saying, if something is hurting you, it's a call for love. Death doesn't want love. Death merely wishes to be death in perpetuity. So even if you wrap death up in a lovely fur coat of love, death will insist, I want you to go out there and slaughter a bunch of minks to make this mink coat for me. Pinocchio was a famous liar. If Pinocchio told a lie, his nose grows. Pinocchio wanted to become a real boy. Geppetto used some kind of magic. How this is relevant, I don't know, but I'm reminded of this by some other being. The story of Pinocchio. I am also given a lot of phlegm by death. I don't know how to tell you, but death has wrapped its deathly fur coat around me. And I'm still alive, but I feel the death as sickness and lies. And the darkness goes, death is tired of me talking, and it says through an intermediary, I just want you to stop talking now. I've had enough of your video. You see? That's what death does. Death doesn't want any real talk. Death simply wants to display its power. Again. My solution is always, if you want to be death, be death, be dead, be non-existence. It hasn't taken my suggestion. In other words, whatever is the consciousness that's playing death doesn't want really to be extinguished. It doesn't take that path. It stays in consciousness, and it keeps sending me vibrations of its power to jolt my body, to prove that it's strong. Again. Have you, the other day I was on a paranormal Facebook group, and the question was, have you ever been pushed by an unseen entity? You've seen a number of examples where I've moved. Now, a good actor could, act that way, using their own consciousness to move their body. People do it all the time, to lift a cup of tea up to their lips to drink. But I'm telling you, that was a different entity than me moving my body. That one says, do you believe it? The problem of evil. That's all that death wants to tell you. It's still pushing me. That's your update. Please tune in to Daniel Scranton to hear from the Arcturian Council. And please read the chapter that I give you in the comments below from Yogananda, Autobiography of a Yogi. I am pleased to communicate with you.